Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian here at 3T. I bring you another episode of my weekly Q&A show, Top People's Questions, where I answer all the questions that you guys have sent me over the past week. I gotta say, despite the fact that last week's comment section had about 30 comments, I found it quite odd that I could only really pick out 7 questions that were actual questions for this episode. So you gotta forgive me if this episode seems kind of awkward and kind of quick, because a lot of these questions really didn't require much thought. They're pretty straightforward and pretty simple. To jump right into them, the first question comes from DaysMan96, and you want to know, what Final Fantasy job best fits me? I don't know, Warrior, because it's simple. You get to hit things with sharp objects, and you get to look like a total badass while you're doing it. So, yeah, I pick a Warrior. Next question comes from QuarterOff. You want to know, am I planning on buying the PlayStation exclusive game Odin Sphere for PlayStation 4? Nope, I've never heard of it. So, can't really buy a game I've never heard of, so I guess not. Next question comes from SenseGo Scorpion. You want to know, if Final Fantasy V had a mega hard mode, would I be able to complete it? Well, I'm sure I'd be able to complete it. I'm just sure it would just take more time. I mean, really, most of your time playing any of the original Final Fantasy games is going to be spent level grinding. So if there was a really mega hard mode, it would just take a lot more level grinding. I mean, trust me, there's nothing you can't beat in RPGs that you can't do with level grinding. Like, instead of spending, I don't know, like 6 hours a day level grinding, I would have to spend maybe twice as much, or maybe a little bit more than that. I would probably have to max up my characters by the time we got to the final boss, but most people do that anyways, because once you get to later levels, it's actually quite easy to level grind. It's just very time consuming. The next question comes from Matthew Mr. M. Keller. You want to know, if Pixar made their own Frozen movie, do I think it'd be successful? Well, I've never seen Frozen, but I guess it would be successful. I mean, if this takes place, if this is supposed to be like a sequel to the first Frozen, and they decide, it's like, Disney's like, make like Frozen 2, and we'll just like work on Star Wars, but we trust you guys can handle it. I guess if they did that, I guess it'd be successful. I mean, it would be riding off the success of the first one. So yeah, I think it'd be. The next question comes from Macho Wesker 17, and you want to know, if I were to be sucked into one of Capcom's video games, which universe would I prefer to end up in? I don't know, Mega Man. I don't know, maybe because the first thing I would do is, I'm not a robot. I'm not trying to mess up Dr. What's-His-Name's plans. I'm just trying to find out where the exit is. So, I don't know, maybe the robots would ignore me and just like, the exit's right over there, and I would just go over there and go on my merry little way. I certainly wouldn't want to go into Resident Evil, so I guess Mega Man. Next question comes from Nuz Bentley, and you want to know, what is the most awkward moment in video games for me? Pressing the start button to Final Damnation 13. I knew it was going to be bad. I just heavily underestimated how bad it was going to be. Biggest video game mistake I ever made. I still regret it to this day, and it was very painfully awkward. And the last question comes from, I don't even know how to pronounce this name. I'm real terrible with names, but like Wong something. I'm real sorry. Your name's right here. You want to know, do I have a PlayStation 1 or a PlayStation 2 or any other old school consoles, and do I play them? I got a PlayStation 2. Yeah. I still play it. There's still a lot of great games on PlayStation 2, and they have this like old school style gaming store nearby where I can buy all types of PlayStation 2 classics. So yeah, definitely. I've definitely gone back and played a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh! PlayStation 2 games, like Duels of the Roses or Capsule Monsters or Capsule Coliseum. Love those. Those are great strategy games. So yeah, I definitely go back and play those. And those are all the questions that you guys have sent me for this episode. I'd like to thank you guys for making this episode possible. If you guys have any questions you would like me to answer in next week's episode, be sure to type them in the comments down below. But make sure you get them into me before next Wednesday before I start filming this. And make sure to remember, it is only one question per person. If you send in more, chances are I'll answer one of them in the comment section of this video and answer it, the first one you sent in the next video. And if there's a question that I missed in this episode that you typed in the comment section for last week's episode, be sure to check the comments, because that is where the answer will be. So with that out of the way, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.